Yo, what's going on, Senpai Squad? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we've got the episode review for episode 69, I believe, of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And I can finally tell you guys that this mini Chocho filler arc it's finally come to an end, and I'm going to be 1000% honest with you. I couldn't be happier that it's ended, because this in my opinion, this arc was by far the worst arc in Boruto. I mean, it was only 3 episodes, so it's not exactly a massive arc, but nonetheless, this chunk of episode, this series of episodes, were by far my least favourites. However, this episode wasn't a terrible episode at all whatsoever. However, it wasn't fantastic either. I mean, fast forward towards like the end of Boruto, well, not even the end of Boruto, like fast forward like a year, 2 years down the line, the likelihood of me remembering this episode is very, very small. So that being said, it still was the best episode of this arc. However, that's not really saying much. Something I have actually enjoyed from this arc, however, is the interactions between Sarada and Chocho. And I know a ton of people are gonna hate me saying this, but because I keep seeing people on my timeline on Twitter saying, kill Chocho. Chocho is irrelevant, she's gonna be a useless character, might as well just kill her. But at the end of the day, we have to look at it this way: Chocho is still Sarada's best friend, and for that reason alone, it says to me that, yeah, she's not going to be this useless side character. Like, she's not going to be an Ino from Naruto or Naruto Shippuden. She's going to be more like an... This comparison, it does hurt me to actually produce this sentence, genuinely, and I do apologise, but Chocho, I feel like, is going to be a little bit like Shikamaru. Oh, that pain to actually put those two together. Oh, but do you know what I mean? Like a best friend, side character, but kind of like a step above the rest of the side characters. I'm going to stop this comparison before people pop off in the comment section like, did you just compare Chocho with Shikamaru? But other than that, during the Chocho and Sarada scene, there was this stuff we've heard 1,000 times already from Chocho, especially in this arc, about, oh, I want to be beautiful, but I need to be skinny to be beautiful, and all these stuff. And then obviously she found a way to chuck chips in there, potato chips, crisps. They're called crisps, guys, just saying, they're called crisps, but they somehow found a way to weave that in there. And honestly, the whole crisps thing with Chocho, I understand it's part of a character. It doesn't annoy me as much as it annoys other people. But sometimes they manage to bring that up out of nowhere, and it's just a bit like, is that really necessary? But that was great. That clearly the main theme of this entire arc. It was kind of like, love yourself for who you are. It's what's inside that matters, you know, all of that type of stuff. Very, very common in these filler arcs in all anime, to be honest. It's nothing to write home about. We've seen it all before. The core message of the arc, yes, it's good, but that alone does not make the arc good whatsoever. One thing I will admit though is, I don't know if this was just me, but they did do the switch in us. For these other 2 episodes, maybe it was just me. I mean, I know it's not just me, because I've seen plenty of other people on Twitter also agree, but they did build Tomaru up to be the villain, in my opinion. They gave him this attitude which just no one really liked, and then he said that thing to Chocho in the last episode and all of this. But they did the switch on us. They built Tomaru up to be the villain, only to make him this just wimp almost, and make Ashina the villain. And while I'm on the topic of being villains, can I just say that these villains may well be some of the, or maybe even the worst group of villains I have ever seen in the Naruto franchise. Genuinely, it was one bandit. When I was watching the ending, when the 6th ending first came a thing, there's a group of gas masky bandits, and I think there was still a group, but we never got any backstory on the bandits. We didn't know who they are, what they do, all of this. And then Ashina turned out to be the villain all because she wants the spotlight and she was this crazy psychopath who was just, it was all just genuinely stupid. It didn't make, it was, like I said, the worst villains. They didn't even feel like villains. The gas mask people got bodied within seconds. We didn't even see them get bodied. At the end of episode 66, when you saw that gas mask guy stood up on the top of the tree, I thought, hang on a minute. They almost look kind of cool. They almost look quite intriguing, and they might be a bit badass. This episode rolls around and straight out the window. They were fodder. They were useless, and like I said, possibly some of the worst villains I've ever seen in the Naruto franchise. Another thing this episode did was make me hate Chocho a little bit, because I keep on having to say it during this arc, because there are genuine hardcore Chocho fans out there, and all power to you. Do what you will. But I know a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people were coming at me saying, like, why you just hating on this arc because it's Chocho. And I didn't even hate Chocho going into this arc, or going into this episode. I still didn't hate Chocho, but they did make me hate her a little bit during this episode. They made her very rude, very degrading, all of this, but clearly it was done on purpose as we see it builds towards the end of the episode, for ultimately to contribute towards her character development, which, may I say, did surprise me, because I said when this arc first started, this arc is useless because Chocho had already established what she's developing in the fight versus Shinki, about how it doesn't matter what people see her as, she can be fat, blah, 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 all that type of stuff. However, they went in a direction in this episode which I didn't quite expect, but I'm going to come on to Chocho's character development at the end of the video. We then reach the climax of the episode, and it's when the ransom trade-off's going on with Tomaru, the gas mask guy, who actually turned out to be Konohamaru dressed up, and Ashina. This is when we find out Ashina's actually the villain. Basically, the gas mask guy, aka Konohamaru, passes Tomaru back over, and Ashina says, go back with all the rest. And can I just say, Tomaru is an absolute freaking idiot. Genuinely, I was watching this episode and it pained me. It pained me. Basically, they're on this little like cliff edge. It's kind of like there's a spiral going around the cliff. And then halfway there's a path going up like this, and then it curves around the path and around the cliff and keeps going up. Basically, we see Ashina at the start of the scene walking up the cliff. You know, there's a pathway. It's normal. Tomaru is told to run, rather than running down the pathway. You know, it's not a long pathway, it's where everyone is, it's simply just do it. He decides to climb down the cliff. It's genuinely the stupidest thing I've ever seen. 100%. I hated Tomaru from the last episode because I thought he was a genuine dickhead. Now I just think he's plain stupid. Why is he rock climbing? He clearly doesn't know how to rock climb. He was terrified. I can't wrap my head around it. I try. I really, really do try. But it makes no sense whatsoever. It's just, why is he trying to climb down the cliff rather than just going down the ready-made, already there walkway? It just, I don't know. Let's move on, please. One more thing actually before we do move on with Tomaru being a complete idiot. When that boulder was coming to fall on him, and Chocho obviously jumps in the way to smash the boulder, and she goes into a normal mode. Like, Tomaru sees Chocho and he's like, what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. And then Chocho goes into a normal form, the bigger form, and she smashes the boulder. And Tomaru's like, you're that girl from back then. And I'm like, really? Really, Tomaru? Are you sure about that? Do you want to maybe just like rub your eyes, have another look? You know, just, are you, is it? Are you Chocho? I don't know. I mean, come on. I thought last week, and Tomaru said that about Chocho, he could recognise it was Chocho. And I can't remember whose review I watched. It might have been Eternal Hokage's. He said the same. He said that, you know, it's blatantly obvious he's, well, not blatantly obvious, but, you know, we thought he knew that was Chocho, and that's why he said that and whispered it to her ear. But no, he's genuinely an idiot, and he didn't know it was Chocho. Like, my God, how stupid can a character be? But anyway, like I said, Chocho did actually develop. I hold my hands up. I was wrong. I thought that she'd just go through the same development she had versus Shinky, where, oh, I can be fat. It doesn't matter. I can still fight when being fat. It doesn't matter what people look at me when I'm fat, blah, blah, blah. And don't get me wrong, she still did get that character development at the end of this arc. I expected that. But they also gave us some more character development. I'm hoping it stays like this. Basically, Tomorrow goes to propose to her. Like, oof. We'll move on. But no, he goes to propose to her and she says, right now, I'm not interested in boys or something. I can't remember the exact quote, but basically she says, right now, I'm not looking for a man in my life. I don't need that. And hallelujah! Because some of the things I hated the most about Chocho was her sexual jokes. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind it if say there's a handsome ninja, you know, and the girl's gonna be like, oh, he's not bad looking. Go for it. But it was constant with Chocho. Every boy was like, he's cute, he looks fit, he's sexy, he's handsome, I need to go for him. No, Chocho, you're 12. So we got past that. I'm glad, and it made me happy because, like I said, I thought we were just gonna end where we started with this arc, but no, she did get some actual development, which is good. And also, when Chocho shuts Tomorrow down, Tomorrow said the killer line. He said the line that all filler characters have. He says, well, maybe I'll get another chance someday. And as soon as he said that, I thought, you are never being seen again. It was like this in Shippuden, or in one of the Naruto episodes, there was a filler character. I think it was a girl in Kakashi, and she was like, oh, I really hope I see you again someday. Guess what? Never mentioned again. This is another instance of that. I'll put money on it. We will never see Tomorrow ever again. We also was teased a little bit of Mitsuki and Chocho shipping. Like, basically she says to Tomorrow, I'm obliged to give crisps to people that I like, and blah blah blah, and then she hands her bag of crisps over to Mitsuki. So a little bit of a tease there, you know. We'll see some Mitsuki Chocho shipping. I don't think I've actually seen anyone ship them at all yet, but I won't be surprised if I see more of it flooding my timeline in the coming days, coming months, coming however long this ship goes until it sails. But no, at the end of that, guys, the arc's over. Like I said, a couple months down the line, a year, however long down the line, I'm probably not going to remember anything from this arc, and that's just the way it is. There was nothing in this arc that stood out at all, apart from how bad it was. Maybe it's going to be like episode 49, where it was so bad, we remember it. Maybe it's going to be one of those ones. I don't know. The next episode looks okay. It's Rock Lee and Metal Lee and Guy and 8 Gates training, and more character development for Metal Lee, which is needed. It looks like it's going to be a little bit like the Chocho arc, just I'm hoping a little bit better. One thing is, Metal, what's going on with this necklace, Metal? Like, what's going on with the gold chains, okay? Are you going to start whipping out a SoundCloud? Like, what is this? But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not ready to become a member of the Senpai Squad, and I will see you guys in another video. But until then,
it was
peace.
all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.